All right, hi. So today I wanted to talk about first trimester in pregnancy and all things about it. I am in it. I am 2/3 of the way through it, and it is a doozy this time. I think I had mentioned that in some of my other videos. Again, being my third time pregnant, it this time is affecting me. It feels like a lot more, but I don't know if it's necessarily more or more that I just don't have time to take care of myself as much because now I have a 2-year-old. So that might be part of it. But for me, having been through one full pregnancy before, I found the first trimester kind of the trickiest. I feel like it's one of the scarier times during pregnancy. A lot of times for me, it just felt like I was kind of on my own a lot. It's one of those times where most of us aren't telling people that we're pregnant yet, but we're very much so experiencing all the symptoms of pregnancy, the nausea, the exhaustion, especially for me being the third time around being pregnant. My body has instantly, since I did carry full term with my last pregnancy, I feel huge already. My breasts are enormous. They're filling out my bras completely. I feel like I already need bigger bras. I can still fit into my clothes, but the moment I eat, I feel insanely bloated. I feel like the fat tissue around my stomach has expanded already. I feel like I wasn't this big until I was almost 4 or 5 months pregnant with my first full-term pregnancy. And already I'm kind of experiencing all of those symptoms. So not telling people is getting harder and harder because I feel like I'm already looking pretty pregnant. Plus, I have all those symptoms. So first trimester is a little extra tricky because you're going through all of these things, and besides potentially telling your partner or maybe a family member or two, most of us aren't telling anyone. And so we're having to experience these symptoms and kind of tamp them down and pretend like we're fine and everything's great. And no, I don't want a glass of wine. I just not drinking right now. And stuff like that, which is kind of lying. And for me, that's always been a little bit tricky. I am a truth teller, always have been. And it just feels more natural for me to be honest with people. So I am just about on my 9th week. Been to the doctor. Everything looks great so far. She's having me come back in 2 weeks and wants to start doing some testing. I am an older mom. I'm 40. So we're going to do a couple extra tests. And my husband and I think we decided after that next visit, if everything looks good and we get some of our testing back and things look good, that we might start sharing it with our friends and family. Just because I found my very first pregnancy, I had a first trimester loss at 8 weeks and hadn't told anyone. And that was hard. It's always hard, I think, no matter what. But I experienced it as challenging because I didn't tell anyone. So then I was going through the miscarriage on my own. Obviously, my husband knew. And then we wound up telling our family members immediately after it happened. But we were telling everyone post after everything happened, and then especially my girlfriends kind of going back and blanketly explaining, oh, by the way, I was pregnant, I wasn't telling you, I had a miscarriage, and then talking them through the whole miscarriage, which is something I wanted to do and I wanted to share. I feel like it's important to share about our loss as much as about our gains because it was really eye-opening to me because I had quite a few friends who experienced miscarriages that I had no idea had. Some of them had had before their pregnancy, some of them had had in between their first and second child. And that was really comforting to me, knowing that other people had gone through it. So I was glad that I was able to share my experience. And then the second time around when I got pregnant, because it was so soon after my miscarriage, it was just about 2 months after, I didn't experience much of my first trimester. I didn't have any idea I was pregnant. By the time I was 8 weeks pregnant, I thought I was only 4 weeks pregnant, and had gotten a blood test, and it said my HGC levels were high enough to indicate that I was 8 weeks pregnant, but I still didn't believe them. I just thought maybe I was having twins, because we do have twins in our family. So I waited almost another 4 weeks to go to the doctor because I knew I was right, because I'd been pregnant before and I knew I didn't have any of those sensations. So by the time I got to the doctor, I was already 13 weeks pregnant. So I had, for better or for worse, kind of gone through my entire first trimester with only a little nausea towards the end, and kind of missed that really scary period of worrying about having a miscarriage between that 8th and 9th week, which is when I had my first miscarriage. And I think that's what makes the first trimester scary as well, is because most of our losses in pregnancy, mind you, they can happen absolutely any time, but most commonly they happen in the first trimester. So it's a scary time. It's also an exciting time for those of us that have been trying to get pregnant, have been trying really hard to get pregnant, or have losses in the past. It can come with a lot of excitement, but it can also come with a lot of trepidation. And especially if you are trying to keep yourself fit and healthy, you're going into fitness environments, ideally only doing things that you've done before, and maybe you have a yoga teacher or you have a fitness class that you're used to taking, and then you kind of run into the, do I tell this person I barely know that I'm pregnant when I'm not telling my friends and family that I'm pregnant yet? And that's up to you. For me, I found it was almost a relief and easier to tell teachers that I kind of barely knew that I was pregnant, because they could, one, give me the aid that I needed throughout class, and two, it was relief to tell someone. And I knew that they weren't going to share that information with anyone. If I wanted to keep a secret, I was going to keep it a secret. So again, up to you. But if you're not going to tell your fitness instructor and you are constantly doing fitness during your pregnancy, please look up all of your pregnancy modifications. Again, get rid of the belly work, get rid of the ab work, get rid of laying on the belly. First trimester, okay, but beyond that, it's over. Let it go. You don't need it. Ginger tea. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. So now that I'm in that first trimester, again, it's a tricky time. It's a tricky time this time around because I have a child. I've been up since 5 a.m, not because of my child. God bless her. She slept till 7:30 in the morning, but I was just awake because I'm pregnant. Trying to sleep fitfully on the sofa, that didn't work. I just tried to take a nap, that didn't work. So I gave myself a little class, hoping it would kind of bump me up. It made me feel a little better, but I'm still pretty nauseous and still pretty tired, and hoping tonight I'm gonna have a really good night's sleep. So there's all that good stuff. The hormones are still adjusting in the body. Some days, a lot of nausea, a lot of bloating. Some days I forget that I'm pregnant. So that's kind of where this first trimester has left me. So if you also feel kind of, it's a roller coaster ride in that first trimester, you're not alone. And I know with this pregnancy, I think as of any of the other pregnancies I've had, that there is a lot of excitement and then there is a lot of trepidation. I'm kind of putting to the back of my mind that I've had one loss and that a potential loss could happen at any time, because it just could, right? No matter what I do. So worrying about it isn't helping me, isn't kind of getting me through my day in a way that feels good. I feel strong, I feel healthy. I feel like this is a strong, healthy pregnancy, just like I felt like my second one was. So I'm kind of gearing in that direction. I'm trying to take really good care of myself and my body, wishing that I had more sleep on my side, but knowing that that'll come in time. And trusting that my body knows how to take care of itself. So when I do feel hungry, I am eating. When I do feel like I need a rest, if I can, if the baby's already asleep, I'm giving myself rest. And also just trying to take it easy with her during the day. I have already found that I'm altering my practice a little bit, just because I do feel bigger and bloated and just not like I want to move as fast. So you'll see that in some of the sequences that I'll be guiding you through in first trimester, while they're accessible to everyone, whether you're pregnant or not, especially first trimester sequences. I tend to like to be very meticulous and move a little bit slower. Breathing is already harder already. Blood flow is different in the body. Airways are different in the body, especially since this is second, rather third pregnancy for me. Uterus is expanding tremendously, so have to go to the bathroom a lot more often, feeling that low belly bloat big time. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That first trimester is amazing and it's scary and it has its ups and downs, just like any of our trimesters, but you're not alone in it. And I know it can feel like a very lonely time. You're kind of getting adjusted to this idea that you're this alien in your body, and what that means. You can't feel it yet, but you're seeing external repercussions of it. Mentally, sleeping or not sleeping, the hormones are kind of kicking in. And that's a really challenging place to be. You're kind of getting used to the idea that you're already a mom, and you are. From that first moment you find out you're pregnant, you're a mom, and maybe for the first time, and maybe for the 10th time, but what that means, and then what the future's gonna hold, and all those thoughts that come with that. So that can be really exciting, really positive, but it can also be really scary, and it can be lonely. So use your resources around you. Take as much care of yourself as you can. Get as much rest. Eat as good as you can. If you do have that one or two persons or people that you are talking to and telling them what's going on in your life, use them. Tell them that you're scared, that you're excited, that you're all of those things, because I have no doubt, since they're very close to you and you've decided to share this news, that they are sharing the same things and they're feeling the same things. and might as well kind of let it out and get it out of your body, especially while you're pregnant. We don't want any more stress and tension in there, so get it out, get it out, get it out. All right, that's going to be it for the day. I heard the babe stirring, so she's probably getting up in a little bit. I'm going to keep drinking this ginger tea, and then I think we're off to the park for the afternoon. Woo-woo! So I have to muster up some energy, put on my comfy pants, and get on out there and be a mom. All right, talk to you later.